All right, there's a lot of people there.
Yeah. How many people do we have? I don't even know.
Mm, I don't know, but a lot of people saying Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So there you are. So John,
Yeah.
we're getting nothing but rain here. I haven't been able to shoot for the last few days, so it's
Oh,
it's
really?
it's been rough here.
Wow.
It's still raining. Oh well, we needed the rain, so just gonna let it rain.
When are you going to do a full, like, three-sided run-in for your shooting shack on the property there?
Right? That needs to happen. We've discussed this, but as you know, we got to go across that creek to set up targets and all. That's really the issue.
Yeah.
So even if we had a covered firing line, we wouldn't be able to do 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
All right, Alan. Alan's off with the questions. He said, what action are you running?" I'm running Borton action for my F class rifle. It's a Borton BRM XD. Been running those for, man, I'm gonna say since 2015. So at this point, half of my career, I tried 3 different actions, and then I finally found the Bortons, and then I haven't switched ever since. Still very happy with them. You run. Do you guys want to know what John runs?
No, they don't care about me.
Oh, come on.
I'm just stuffing. You're the turkey.
Right. Uh, what do
I
you
run
run, John?
Defiance.
You run
I run
Defiance?
Defiance Deviants. Yeah. Yeah. It's the only thing I've ever run.
Well, that's good. I mean, if you found something that you're happy with, just be happy with it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know how they work. I've been really happy with them. And, it's funny because, I almost switched early this year. I was telling somebody this story, but I had an opportunity to buy a couple BRMXDs and they were right bolt, left ports, like exactly what I wanted. And, but like it would have been like another, by the time you sell your actions and buy the new ones and new bedding and all that stuff, it would have been like $2,000 more. Right. And, and I just said like I really would love to have Bordens. I think they're fantastic actions. I love my Defiances. I know people are happy with bats, but I know that like me switching to a Borden isn't going to buy me like I'm a bigger problem than my action is.
I don't know, man. You just never know. I mean, the last, I think Tim runs Borden's. Todd runs Borden's.
Yeah.
Dude, maybe that's the only thing holding you back. What? Holy crap, John. What if that's. Well, you remember how you did when you ran a Borton?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I will say, man, Todd's. I don't think Well, no, I've shot your guns too. They're both the same way, but they are silky smooth.
We're about to convince John to spend a bunch of money.
Wow. No, man. No. Oh man.
All right, we got 130 people watching, so make it worth. Make it worth it, John.
Make it worth it. All right, so I only need each person to chip in $15 and I'm set.
There you go. It's that easy.
And then I can't even register them in Oregon now because it's
Oh
illegal.
my
So
goodness. All right, John, tell us about that. Tell us about that law. What is it called?
well,
What's the law called? Did they give it some crazy name or number to make it
it's
confusing?
something 114. I can't remember what they call it, but like Bill 114, and it
Uh-huh.
narrowly passed. And um, like I'm not super into the politics of it, but the basic concept is that it did two things. One was it prevented the purchase of high capacity magazines, and if I remember right, you're still allowed to own like my little 22 15 rounder now. I have to somehow prove that I am in possession of this, although I guess this video would now suffice, but
You're
I have
welcome.
to prove that this particular one, so like I would have to like serialize it or do something to it so that if I'm ever stopped after December 8th driving from my range, I can somehow prove that this is my magazine that I bought before the ban. It's a little crazy, and I can only use this magazine at an approved range. But if for some reason I'm stopped on my way from the range, I can't prove that I was just at my range. It's really weird, and nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. But the bigger problem is registering firearms.
Uh-huh.
And right now I don't even know what the actual number is, but I know as of a couple days ago, just the registration backlog in Oregon was in excess of 20,000 for non CCW holders and
Mm-hmm.
over 5,000 for CCW holders. So here's what that means from what I understand. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't get into this, but the law is supposed to take effect December 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's taking weeks to get background checks at this point. If you were to register a gun or try to buy a gun and it gets put in the queue, if it doesn't get cleared by December 8th, then all of that stops. And so then you're potentially in the then you got to figure out, okay, first off, will the gun store give me my money back if I can't get my gun? If they won't give me my money back, or they're going to charge me a cancellation fee,
Uh-huh.
uh, like what happens to the gun for them? Like they can't sell it. Like there's going to be gun stores that potentially just go instantly out of business because they can't do anything. And then you think about other situations like a private party transfer. If I go to do a legal transfer with somebody and I go to a gun store or an FFL, the FFL is taking possession from me before the other person gets their ability to possess it. If the registration fails under normal circumstances, I have to reapply and get the gun back from the
So
FFL.
the minute you turn it in, it's no longer yours.
Right, but that's how it's been. Like that has nothing to do with this law.
Uh-huh.
But think about it this way: if I go to let's say a gun store and I go to transfer a gun to somebody right now, and for some reason that gun doesn't uh, go through before December 8th, then I can't even get it back because there's no way to register it back to me. Like there's some crazy stuff going on with it, and so it's going to require a permit where you have to go do a training class and you have to pay I think it's 65 or 85 bucks, something like that, to get a permit, kind of like a CCW, and then you can go through the thing. Well, there's absolutely zero provisions for whatever that test or training class is going to be. The bill provided zero funding for it. So there's already some sheriff's departments saying, well, we're going to have to take away from other resources to do this. So there's a lot of unknown. And I think that's the biggest problem, right? Like nobody knows what's happening with it. And all anybody's saying out of the legislature is it goes into effect December 8th and then we'll figure it out. So
Oh, well,
it's
that's
pretty
fun.
crazy.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
isn't that how they typically do things? They just kind of well, they're just trying to get their fingers in whatever they can, right? And then
Yeah. And I get it. There's people on here saying you need to move. Well, look, guys, it's coming to you. I don't care what you say. It's like Oregon's not an island, and it's a West Coast thing, and it's slowly moving the other direction. So, if you think this can't happen in your state, you're wrong.
well, how do you guys vote for this? Like that's didn't you guys have to vote? Like what's the trap? You know, they have to do something to
Well,
like people are literally voting to give up their rights. Like what's the
here's
trap?
I don't I know there's a lot of theories, and I'm not a big conspiracy theory person, but here's my personal take on it. Over the last X number of years, it used to be on TV, you would hear about gang violence, and we have a problem here in Portland, and you would hear gang violence, gang violence, gang violence, and maybe X amount of years ago, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, everything switched to gun violence. So,
Uh-huh.
we had, there was a shooting, there wasn't a gang shooting, and so they stopped using any kind of terminology like that. So then the public became very ingrained with gun violence, gun violence. So then as soon as you put something out there that says it's going to cure gun violence, you just need 51%, and then it's done. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well.
yeah. So
Um
good times.
yeah, well maybe Elon Musk can fix it.
Okay, so back to real questions here.
Yeah. Well, that was a real
Somebody asked
question.
me.
That was a real question. All
Oh,
right.
I know.
What do
I
they
know.
want?
I
What
think
do they want to know?
what's my overall length on my 765 wheeler? Well, I don't shoot a 765 wheeler. I shoot a different 765, but I'm 2.328 right now for whatever that's worth.
2.328.
Yeah.
Overall length?
Yeah, 2.328 overall length. Yeah. But again, I'm shooting a very custom
At
765.
2.328. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That seems long.
Well,
Seems
I'll double check my book. Please hold.
all
Nope,
right.
that's right. Yeah.
With
Yeah.
180s?
With 180s here, I'll even show you. So actually, my last load was 2.325.
Wow. All right. Let me
And I'm running 223 bore.
is 3.2. Is that it?
Two two 2.328.
All right. Is this base oil drive?
Overall length. Oh no, a base O drive. Yeah, base O drive.
What is your base oil drive? Okay, do you have one handy?
Yeah, 2.325. My overall length, I'm sorry, I gave overall length as that. It's 2.325 base O drive.
Well, what's your overall length? Because that's gonna mean more to most people. Do you have one handy?
No, but I'll make one real quick. Hang
There
on.
you go. See, this is live, people. Live. I'll answer some
All
questions
right.
in the meantime.
There we go. There's a round right there.
Dang, that was quick.
So let's get on this here. Let me.
I
know
figure it's gonna
people
be
ask. I
around.
knew it.
It's gonna be around 3.1 if I had to guess.
If you had to guess. So let's see here.
What is it?
3.147.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good deal.
Yeah.
All right. There you have it. What else do they want to know? What does it cost? What does it cost, and what is required to shoot F-class? Rifle is already built. You want to take?
Rifle's already built?
Yeah. You want to take that one?
Well, now that you've taken 90% of the cost out.
Well, you're gonna need more than one rifle at some point.
Well, like here's the thing that I think a lot of people fail to take into consideration. Like, and we're talking like competitive, like serious competitive shooting. Is you have to look at the consumables, right? So people say, well, okay, bullets, primers, powder, great. I shoot about 6,000 rounds a year, and it's a little over $1 a round for me to load. So, that's $6,000 a year to shoot consumables, just bullets, powder, primers, all that kind of crap.
Right.
But then there's also the barrels. I don't do my own barrels, so there's an additional cost for me, but I spend another $2,000 a year in barrels. I shoot out 4 or 5 barrels a year. Even getting a little bit of a discount on getting my barrels done, just because I get so many done. It's still expensive. So I'm still, so yeah, it costs me about 10 grand a year to shoot competitively, not counting entry fees, travel, hotels. Like, it's freaking expensive, but you know what makes it worth it? The payouts.
Really? On gunsmiths and/or how to choose gunsmiths for chambering. I struggle finding a competent gunsmith. Well, we know a competent one.
Yeah.
I actually know 2. God dang it. I don't have his. Do you have Jay's info?
Actually, we know 3. Do I have Jay's info? Yeah.
You know he's doing gunsmithing now, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I've been telling people.
Okay. So we have Jeremy. What does it go with? JRT or JRS?
Yeah, so he just changed his email. It's jtsprecision@gmail.com.
Yeah, type it in the deal.
Hang on a second.
Let me.
Yeah. I forget what email Jay's using.
I'm gonna text him right now.
Okay. But both of these guys are just amazing. They both know how to put it. But I think the bigger question is, how do you know if a gunsmith is competent, right? Like,
well, we're telling you these two.
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but multiple ways,
Yeah.
right? The best one is like right now we're telling them, call these guys, right? But I don't think Jay does. All he does is barrel work.
Yeah, I think that's all he's doing right now. Yeah, correct.
And I think Jeremy. Is he doing full? Jeremy can do a full build, right?
He does full builds. He does inletting, bedding. Yeah.
Right. Cerakoting. I don't, whatever. But let me text Jay to see if. But anyway, Jay Christofferson, he's starting to do barrel work.
Yeah.
You said we need 3. What was the other one?
Well, I mean, Speedy or
Yeah,
Alex would just take a little longer.
Alex Wheeler. You know, any of those guys are going to do you a good job, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you're looking for a full build or what, but you know, any of those guys will take care of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But on the topic of like, how do you find a competent gunsmith? I think, to be honest, you need to find somebody, whether it's us or somebody else, but you need to find somebody that's doing, like, if you're hunting, find somebody that hunts, see who they use, see if they're happy. It's really tough. Like, to be honest, it's really tough to just go to a gunsmith and ask questions because
you don't
a
know what
lot
to
of them will
ask,
give you answers. You
and
don't
you
know
don't
what
know
to
what to
ask.
ask.
And if you do know what to ask, you may not know, like, you may hear an answer that you think is weird and you're like, oh, I don't know. But really, the guy knows what he's doing. Or you might hear like a totally normal answer because that's the answer they give everybody. And you're like, oh, he sounds like he knows what he's doing. Gunsmithing is, I hear more horror stories out of gunsmithing than anything else because, you know, uh, it's, it's a game of, you know, of the tiniest differences, and it makes a big difference how people do things. But I do know Jeremy and Jay are 2 people that you can trust.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
you can usually tell by what they charge too. I mean, like, you're gonna pay for good service.
yeah, these
You
guys
know,
are not going to be cheap, but they're going to be good. You know, it's.
yeah,
When I used to be a home builder, I used to tell people good, fast, or cheap. Pick 2.
you can't have all 3.
Pick 2. Um, but you know, cheap was actually never an option.
You never had anybody choose cheap?
Nope. Well, oh, they wanted it. That was their main thing, and I'd be like, well, I wouldn't work for those.
Yeah.
Uh, all right.
Somebody
Let's
asked
talk
about. Oh,
about
go ahead.
the 300. They said if you can get away from the belt, do it. I've never understood the issue with the belt to this day, because all you have to do is treat it like anything else, right? Just head space it off the shoulder, and you're good to go. But anyway,
They
let me
asked
see.
about triggers, preferred triggers for you and me. I think we're pretty much the same on that.
Well, yeah, I use Flavio. Is that what you use?
Yeah. Flavio. I tell people there's basically, for me, there's 2 really great options. On the high end, Flavio, and there's other great triggers out there, but I love my Flavio. And then if you want to stay a little bit more budget minded, I am actually a huge fan of Trigger Tech. I think they make fantastic triggers. So
Yeah.
those are my 2 options.
Yeah. What, no Jewel? It's
No, I
amazing how
know.
Jewel just kind of fell off it's still a good trigger, but
There's so many guys that still use them, right?
yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah.
let me see. What else do we have? Oh, the triggers. Uh, 308 Palma is one of the items that Lapua has suspended production on. But most reloaders stress about that you folks have found unnecessary in the process. Concentricity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Number one. Ask me if I even own a concentricity gauge anymore.
I do, but only when I'm setting something up. You know, like right now that I'm setting up the PRCW. You know, I fire it and I check the brass out of the chamber. Well, guess what? It should be straight. If it's not, then there's a problem with the chamber.
Yeah.
Then I full length size it. Well, I full length size it, and then I check it again. If it's not straight, then there's something wrong with my die. Typically there isn't, and then I move on to seating. And if there's an issue there, then I fix the die. And then once I do that, then I'm done. And whatever I get going forward. Because, you know what I mean? I just use it to diagnose if there's any issues. That's it.
I would almost answer this question with something that I think you and I could come across all the time. And I realize it's a loaded answer right now, given the environment. But I think that there are a couple of things that people unnecessarily don't stress about enough. And for me, that's brass selection. I can't tell you how many times, my local group, and we do a ton of shooting. We shoot 63 times a year at 600 yards, and I get new shooters all the time. And anytime they're having group issues, and they say, "What's the first thing I can work on?" I ask them, "What kind of brass do you use?" And 9 out of 10 times, if they switch to a higher caliber of brass, it instantly will help with their sizing, their spreads, their groups, and so I think there's things people unnecessarily stress about. I think there's things people unnecessarily don't stress out enough about.
Well, it's all about priorities, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's amazing how, as you are aware, and I'm sure that happens to you as well. A lot of people reach out and they have questions. Like I'm on social media, so I get questions a lot, and people will ask me, "Hey, I'm having issues with bumping or everything, inconsistent, whatever." And then I ask them like, "What kind of brass are you using?" And they're like, "Well, I'm using range pickup brass." I'm like, "Throw that away. Go get you some good lapua brass, or and that's it. Your problems are gonna go away." So yeah, brass is absolutely important. The three B's, right?
Yeah.
Brass, bullets, and barrels. If you handle those
Yep.
three, you're gonna do pretty good. Does
Yep.
dry firing damage the firing pin? No.
As long as you have a good gun. I mean, I won't say no because there are some guns where I wouldn't do it, but on any quality gun, no.
John, do you know the correct spelling for McGee's or the website?
Yeah, I'm putting it up right now.
All right. As a rookie, would a training rifle like Voodoo or any other brand that I can think of be a good idea? Also, keep hearing about how exceptional burger bullets are. What do
Yeah.
you? What do you? uh, with a training rifle like a Voodoo? No. Train like you fight at this point. Just get your rifle, get it set up. Can you list the top 3 brass brands in order? Yeah, let me type them out.
Oh God, I know what he's gonna type.
In that order.
That's what I was waiting for.
We need to see a collaboration with 9-hole reviews. Who is that?
I've never heard of him.
Where you shoot
Somebody got a free shout out.
Yeah. I don't know who that is. I make custom knives. I make
knives.
custom knives, and I would like to make each of you one, just to thank you for the knowledge and time you both put into the.
Oh,
That'd be
that's
awesome.
nice of Troy.
Awesome, possible. Yeah. Would you guys have an objection?
No.
No. Free and brought to me is my favorite. Just like beer.
Oh, yeah, I'll take free and shipped. I mean,
yeah.
This is why Erik doesn't get life-changing things. Little do they know, I already have one of those bullet comparators coming your way.
All right. I'm a very simple individual. Once I find something that works, I don't change.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Alpha Brass? I've never used it, so I can't tell you. I've heard
that is exactly my answer.
Savage needs to update the 6.5 284 and go with like a 284. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The Savage targets are really hard to beat for the money for an off-the-shelf F-class gun.
It's just hard to beat, but I'd get the 6BR just because that's going to be I think the most forgiving, because you're going to have to change the barrel anyway. If you get the 6.5 284, it's chassis for F-class. What's his name?
Yeah. Competition Machine.
Jade Del Cambre. He won the Nationals with a Masterpiece Arms in FTR 2 or 3 years ago. So they work.
And there is a good F-class chassis from, God, what's his name? Competition Chassis or Competition Machine. Hang on. It is a good chassis. Got X-Ring. So, what's his name? Gary Elise.
Oh, Gary Alicio.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want a chassis for F-class open, this would be where to go. because it's made for it. Does Ruger Precision belong anywhere in the sport? Well, I mean, yeah, technically.
Well, I mean that's a very common common one for PRS.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Ruger Precision Rifle.
yeah. Just not F class.
Some people have used it before
I mean, who are those people?
with no success.
I mean, who would buy three different Ruger Precisions trying to make the best one possible?
By the way, that's John's story. That's how he started.
That
That's
is
how he
how it
started.
started.
Wait, you said no 6mm, then you said 6BR Savage. Clarify. Okay. Keep in mind what the question was. Entry, factory. That's the best. And then when I said get the 6BR, because you're going to have to change the barrel anyway. Okay? So that's what I said. From what's available, that's what I would get. Now, if you're going to build one from scratch, yeah, I wouldn't do a 6mm. That's also why I said you're going to have to change the barrel anyway. And then when you do, get a 284 or something else. Okay? Yeah. Oh, man, these people it's all right. They're keeping us honest. Mainly me.
What are we up to? How many are we up to now?
360.
Nice. Nice. So somebody asked, and I'll clarify a little bit, but somebody said, I have a Matchmaster now. Would it be worth selling and purchasing the auto trickler? So I get this question a lot, and I actually wrote a whole thing on one of my YouTube questions that somebody asked. But the Matchmaster is like 800 or 900 bucks from RCBS. It is still a strain gauge. It is still really only accurate to 4/100ths, and that's when you use the match mode, which is like 20 or 30 seconds per load, and it has an incredibly frustrating app interface. For 200 bucks more, give or take, you can get an auto trickler set up, and then for a couple $100 more, you can get a super trickler set up. I personally think either one of those is light years ahead of the Matchmaster. So I tell people either spend 200 or 300 bucks and get a Chargemaster Lite or Chargemaster Link, or get the auto trickler or super trickler. I think the Matchmaster is in a weird space with its pricing and capabilities.
Yep. For scope mounts, separate rings or one piece? One piece. I've moved completely to one piece.
Yeah, you use near mounts, right?
Yep. Near on the Needmores, we have some Masterpiece arms, and we have some oh man, I don't know why I can never remember the 3-letter chassis company from Canada. MDT.
Yeah, I can't remember.
MDT.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then F3R makes really good one-piece mounts too.
Yep, I still use Richard Near mounts and MDT. Man, these guys are quick. If you could get a Matchmaster with a 50% off certificate for my match, I think it's great buy. Yeah.
That's never how you should qualify a product, right?
Yeah. Is there anything you worry about damaging when dry firing? And if so,
no,
not really. I don't worry about it. What powder would you choose for 6.5 Creedmoor? Triple nickel is great. N150. Triple nickel, if you can find it, is great stuff. Or N150 is also very good. I answered the same question twice. SAC custom dies, avoid donut. I don't know.
You can't avoid a donut. I mean, if you're gonna neck up, the donut's gonna come. It doesn't matter what you.
Is Lodi, Wisconsin in your tour? Not at the moment. Planning on doing any classes in South Africa? No, I don't think so. I am planning on putting on a school down there, but no classes.
Does your stock ride on the stitches or the ears? Mine rides on the stitches.
I think mine does too. No, mine rides on the ears. Yeah. Best PRS rifle for the beginners. Probably an RPR, right? A lot of guys use those. I'm not sure, but RPR I think is pretty popular.
Why are a lot of S-class scopes second focal plane? Well, nearly every F-class is, because when you zoom in on a first focal, your reticle gets bigger, and we need to hold off at tiny minutes or tiny spots. So your reticle would literally cover the center of the target, and you wouldn't be able to make a proper hold with a first focal plane scope.
One cartridge is the only thing you can have. What is it? What would you go with?
My 6.57 PRC.
There you go. Uh, Bergara makes a PRS rifle with an MPA chassis, otherwise Tika. Okay, there you go. What's a good temperature to load in, hot or cold?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. You just have to.
As long as you know how to adjust it. I mean, I
Yeah.
just know how to go from a cold to hot environment and hot to cold. It don't matter.
What was the primer tool John is using? What is it, John? Lee?
It's the Lee ACP.
Lee
Yeah.
ACP.
Here, I'll put a link up here real quick.
John, when's your next lesson in the area?
Probably in January. Keep an eye on the Tri-County calendar.
All right. Need to long range. I want to compete. Should I just sign up for PRS even if I bomb? Yes, absolutely. You're not going to be there to win. You're going to be there to learn. So, yes, sign up now, right now. Sign up. You will bomb. Even the pros bomb. You do realize that it doesn't matter how many people sign up. Only one gets to win. So, the majority are going to bomb. So, yes, sign up.
What was the biggest improvement you guys saw in one change? Changing the Lapua brass.
Mic drop.
I don't know what Eric's.
I don't know how to mic drop this thing. I'm gonna have to detach it just so I can drop it.
Okay, last answer here. 657 PRC dies. Buy yourself some 6.5 PRC dies. Have your gunsmith hone out the neck, and you're good to go.
Yep, that's what I did. Just bore it out.
Yeah, go to like Bullet Central, get the Micron dies or Short Action Customs or one of those, and it's super easy.
I bought Redding.
Oh, there you go. Wait, what?
Eric, can you make another video of you shooting 1,000 yards, but this time try to beat your previous smallest 5-round group? I hadn't thought about trying to beat that group. That's a good idea.
Hey, remember the time? So I was shooting at my 1,000 and I shot like a 1.7 something. And I remember I called Eric. I'm like, dude, I just beat your record. He goes, what did you shoot? I said like 1.7. He goes, ah, you didn't beat it.
Well, it was different. He was like, hey, suck it. Suck it. Suck it. I just beat your record. Suck it. Your unofficial YouTube record. And I said, holy scopes. And I was like, my goodness, John, I am so happy for you. Good job, buddy.
I don't remember that.
It's funny how we remember it differently. And anyway, so, yeah, he didn't beat it. I haven't beat it.
No, but I try every time I go out.
Eric, does it bother you that Jason is cooler than you? Nope. Never. See you next year, Nationals. You do
Hornady brass thoughts.
See ya.
And with that, we'll end the live stream.
We'll see ya. You guys have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving. John, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Bye-bye.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.